What is happening with Cooper Flagg and the Dallas Mavericks right now? This is a team who I honestly felt very highly of going into the season. And as of right now, they just got a win over the Washington Wizards, which, they should be able to do. And they are sitting at 3-7 right now, just above the Pelicans, who have been unwatchable, by the way. Just Pelicans are horrible. So just to mention the Mavericks in the same name, same realm right now, it just doesn't sit right with me. Let's just start with the good of this team right now, because quite frankly, there's not a lot of it. They're playing defense. They're eighth right now. Things can fluctuate, obviously, with games going on today. But they're eighth as of right now in a defensive rating. Defensively, they've been great, and it makes sense too. You have so many long, athletic wings. Anthony Davis has only played in 5-year games, unfortunately, but when he's there, he looks extremely good, and like he is that defensive anchor. I think that is something to build on when people start to get healthy, because obviously you're missing your two most important offensive guys in Anthony Davis and Kyrie Irving, who, again, Kyrie Irving is going to solve a whole thing that we're going to talk about here and transition into the negative, and that is their point guard play. This team is just flat out not averaging a lot of assists. D'Lo is your highest guy right here with 5, and quite frankly, he just really, really has not been playing well. Going into the season, that is the fit that I personally was a little bit skeptical of and worried about. Like, when this team gets out in transition and gets downhill, you have all your athletic wings like Cooper. Cooper in the open court, getting downhill, being able to split defenses, looks so good. But in that half-court setting, when you have D'Lo kind of setting up your offense and you're kind of throwing it out there with like someone like Klay Thompson, who, again, has been god-awful, and some of those more athletic wings who can get their stuff off the dribble a little bit. Like, Cooper's definitely way more capable of getting his stuff off the dribble than some of your other wings. It just still looks clunky. It's like one-on-one. Don't run a lot of sets because they don't have a whole lot of guys where you're able to run those sets. You can't run Klay off these pin downs like you used to be able to. Quite frankly, I don't know if he should really be playing. And we all love Klay more than anything, and I appreciate Klay as a person and his career more than anything. One of my favorite guys to watch in his prime. However, he's averaging 20 minutes a game, which is by far the lowest he's ever had. 7 points, and he's shooting 26% on threes right now. Klay Thompson is shooting 26 from 3 right now. That is just like, you're not getting anything. Like, what is he out there for? He doesn't sit in the chair anymore either. So he really is a net negative. So Jason Kidd, being the guy that he is, will run Cooper at the 1. I cannot stress enough how much I hate this move for the Dallas Mavericks and Cooper Flagg and Jason Kidd. I never liked how he did this with Giannis either. And granted, people will kind of rebuttal that with being like, well, look at Giannis now. He can play make. He's a willing passer, and he's more all around. But Giannis has been in the league for 10 years. It's like, I understand the longevity of it, 100%, and he will develop his game. But I think this is something that Cooper could have developed on his own and maybe more gradual than just being thrown to the wolves. Obviously, he's going to struggle. Like, this is a position he's never played in a league that he's never played in. He's more than capable of playing this league, obviously. But still, there's an adjustment period that goes on with just being a rookie in a new league anyway. To throw playing a whole new position on top of that, just I feel for him a little bit. 14 points on the year, 6 boards, 3 assists, steal, and almost a block. He shoot 27% from 3, 40 from the field, and he's only averaging like 1-3 a game. So 27 is not great, but it could be worse. And going into the season, I kind of jokingly put Cooper Flagg on people I'm buying stock into for this exact reason, though. I could see him coming into the league struggling and, struggling to find his footing at first, and people, especially talking heads, which, again, I'm very grateful, aren't as prominent in our NBA society right now. There's actual intellectual people covering the sport, which is awesome, because obviously he has been struggling to adjust a little bit. But his impact on the game, his energy, the stuff that doesn't show up on the stat sheet is there. His motor is there. Like, when you watch Cooper Flagg for the eye test, you wouldn't even really know that he's struggling that much. I just think that him being put at the point guard position right now, I get it. So would you rather have D'Lo starting with him? The numbers say yes. Shout out to Dean Oliver, and this is a Twitter follow that I found the other day, who he just created the offensive rating advanced statistic. He just created it and stumbled across him on Twitter. Great follow. I'm gonna put the graphic up on the screen right now. I highly suggest you follow this guy. Super analytical. It's fun to really get numbers based off the eye test. A couple nights ago, the Mavs actually did start D'Lo with Cooper Flagg. So he had a point guard with him, and that helped Cooper produce a plus 1.3 offensive net rating with a point guard and a minus 7.7 without. It is all an experiment, and somebody else brought up a really good point with Kevin Durant's rookie year, because Kevin Durant had said some stuff based on the Cooper Flagg experiment right now, saying that basically everything that I was saying, how he's coming into a league that is already an adjustment period, and he's playing a position that he's never played. And pretty similarly, when Kevin Durant came in the league, the Sonics played him at 2 a lot. So he came into the league as a tweener, and especially during a period of time where people didn't know where to put a score. Like, if you could score the ball, you're at least like a 3 to 2 to 1. But then moving him to the 3, and then as the NBA kind of developed, moving him to like the 4, really opened up the game for him, especially, 5-out offense type of situation. He could take people off the dribble a little bit more, get to his spots, get to his mid-range and whatnot. And I do think that ultimately maybe it did help KD, with his handle, or learning how to take advantage of his size with the smaller guy on him. And you see less of that now with Cooper, because you can just switch on to, they'll usually just throw like the bigger guy or the lead defender on Cooper right now, regardless of what position he's playing. However, it could increase, the ball handling skills, the vision, because Kevin Durant never really amounted to that passing, playmaker that maybe the Sonics had hoped at first to develop his game. He's just straight buckets. But right now, I do think it would benefit from at least having somebody else who can, play make and can set up the half-court offense. I think that's the thing that I hate most about it. I'm okay with, him grabbing a rebound and going, because that's his specialty. But setting up the offense and being the lead guard is very hard, especially as a rookie in a new position. I really do think it's unfair to experiment right away. Maybe this is a second half of the season type of situation. However, maybe they're banking on really contending still. There's 10 games. Anything's possible still. I think one of the most important guys on this team right now has been Max Christie. And this is a guy who I was super excited to see his growth and his potential growth going into this season too, because I knew that guard position was kind of lackluster for this team. And, D'Lo is a little bit inconsistent, same with Clay. And as I mentioned earlier, Clay has been struggling tremendously from 3. And he's really your guy that you were looking towards, kind of coming off your pin downs and stuff like that, coming off the screens and being able to open up the floor, space the floor, and really shoot the ball for this team, in driving kick scenarios as well. Max Christie has been that for this team right now. So far in the year, he's averaging 13 points on 5 attempted threes, and he's shooting 46%, almost making 3 a game, which has been huge for this team. Every game I've kind of tuned into, he has looked tremendously more improved than the last year, the last couple seasons. Really coming into his own. I really like him going forward for this roster. The other guy who I really want to talk about, who's probably been their best player so far this year, minus Anthony Davis when he's on the court, is PJ Washington. PJ Washington has been phenomenal for this team. He's actually their leading scorer, again, minus Anthony Davis. At 15, he's giving you 8 boards, too. Giving you 15, 8, and a sneaky 3 assists a game, a steal and a block. Shooting from the 3 a little bit poorly, 27% on 4 attempts. But I think his usage rate has been the most it's ever been for PJ Washington. Never been a guy who, is really taking you off the dribble that much, really like driving and kicking very much. And a lot of the offense has kind of gone through him so far in the year. So again, he's a player who is still young, still developing as well. Even like a Najee Marshall, who's been phenomenal for you. 10 points, 4 boards, 2 assists. Again, shooting 25% from 3. I think that's the thing. This whole team hasn't really figured out the scoring aspect. But defensively, they've all been great. Everybody's averaging at least like a block, or around a steal too. Very active hands. They play together on defense. And I think Najee Marshall's kind of been that anchor as well for them, coming off the bench. And he's been a spark plug offensively too. He's taking guys off the dribble. It might look bad, like last night's game. I was really attentively watching the Wizards versus Mavs last night, and Najee was taking guys off the dribble like crazy. Yeah, man, it's really just those guards over there right now, and the bigs staying healthy, but they've just had such a revolving door of guards since Kyrie's been out. I mean, one of the first couple games they were trying to see what they had with Ryan Nembhard, and Jaden Hardy's been in and out of the lineup. Brandon Williams has looked great for this team. I really like him. I think he deserves way more minutes than he's been getting. Jaden Hardy, again, like the last couple years has been weird because he's had stretches where he looks really good, and then he has stretches where he looks really bad. So maybe a little bit more of an inconsistent guy for you, but he is shooting the 3 ball pretty well. In 9 games, he's shooting 39% for you on 2 attempts a game, almost 3. Brandon Williams is shooting abysmal from 3 right now, 18% on 2 attempts a game. So they just haven't figured out the shooting or the offense. But the defense is there. The hustle, the togetherness is there. I really hope this team figures it out because I really do think they could be a dangerous team. However, I didn't think that Clay would take this much of a drop down from, the previous year. Obviously, he has been digressing the last couple years. He's old. He's an old Clay right now. But I thought his game would transition well from being old, a spot-up guy, coming off a little bit of pin downs and a little bit of actions like weird, slip screen action stuff, ghost screen stuff. You're just not seeing it this year. He can't move. He can't play defense either. He's kind of been the odd man out on the defensive end. It's really been those like other younger wings. At least they're doing one thing really well. So maybe the offense can kind of catch up to their at some point of the season. But Mavs fans, let me know how you're holding up because I'm sorry.